Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going fabulous. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to create a card using the Spellbinders Large Die of the Month Club Kit for July 2021. I'm excited about this kit because this kit is fabulous. I have been loving mini slimline cards lately, and this kit has everything you need. In fact, today's card, we're just going to use the kit. I only bring in a few embellishments, a few gems, and that's it. It's very good for building your mini slimline basics, and so I'm going to show you everything in the kit, and then we're going to create a card. I'm going to go ahead and start by die cutting out the panel dies that are in here. This set is called the Mini Slimline Envelope and Nested Card Creator. So the nesting part creates two different sets, which I think it's pretty fabulous. I'm going to show you both sets and then show you that they layer all together, which makes it even more fabulous. The first set has the dotted dash line detail on the edge. This is your largest panel in your die set here, and it's 3 1/4 inches by 6 1/4. It will actually fit a mini slimline card front beautifully. I fell in love with this because that's the size of my mini slimline cards that I prefer, which is 3 1/4 by 6 1/4, and this panel will fit right on top. So if you want some dotted detail, I love this die. It works out perfect. Okay, now you also get a smaller rectangle with our dotted detail. It's about a 1/2 inch smaller. Don't quote me on that, I didn't measure, but it's nested, so it just layers all nicely together. So if you want to create some real pretty frames with this, you could also. Now the middle rectangle piece, I die cut out with the smallest rectangle die in the set. It doesn't have any dotted or dash line detail. It's actually meant to die cut out a background for the sentiment here. We do get a happy birthday, which is fabulous. And all you do is you can add the happy birthday to the die cut rectangle, or you can die cut them out together. I'm going to do this on dark blue cardstock. This is actually Cosmic Sky cardstock. It's the new color, well, it's not new anymore, but it's been out for a while, but it's the Color Essentials cardstock, which is fabulous. It's a very heavyweight cardstock. So this is your happy birthday. It's the outline, and it'll fit perfect on the smallest rectangle. So you can see how it just layers all together just fabulously. So there's 3 dies with the dotted dash line detail. Those are the 3. They layer together beautifully. And you know I like layers and frames, so I was excited about this. Now your second set has it's a beautiful dainty scalloped edge with some lined detail on there. You get 3 of these also, and they all nest together too. So 2 different sets with the dice, the large die of the month club kit this month. Now all of these, all 6 of these, will layer together to where you can do your matting. If you want a scallop edge on a panel, it's lovely because you can have the dotted detail on the inside, or vice versa. You can see here all the beautiful layers. So there's the dotted detail with the scallop in the middle, or if you wanted the scalloped on the outside with the dotted detail on the inside, this is what it will look like. Isn't that dainty and pretty? So sky's the limit. If you layer them together and die cut them out, you could create beautiful frames too, which I love frames on cards. So I was very, very excited about this being in the club kit because it's a great starter for mini slimline cards. You know, we get so used to creating with our A2 size cards that building up the stash can be expensive. So when it's something like this is here, it makes it really nice. Okay, now there's 3 more pieces to your large die of the month club kit this month. I went ahead and die cut out some pieces to create an envelope. Now the cardstock that I'm using is very lightweight cardstock. I actually use the cardstock I pick up from Walmart. They have a ream of it that's like $6, very inexpensive, but it's like 65 pound, very lightweight cardstock. And that's the one I'm using for my envelope here. You don't want a heavy cardstock. It would be, I think, too hard to make your envelope basically. Now to create your envelope, it's very easy. You die cut out 2 sides on the left and right, and then 2 tops and 2 bottoms, and then you die cut out the main rectangle piece. Now we need adhesive. You can use glue. I'm going to use double-sided tape. This is actually tape from the card kit. I'm adhering it to one of my long side panels. I did score this panel at the second score line, guys. I'm going to go ahead and add my rectangle panel right over the top. Now you want to make sure that your scored area here is on the inside. This way the outside of your envelope is smooth and it's perfect for addressing to your recipient. So make sure your score line's on the inside. Next, I'm going to take my other side panel and we're going to reinforce it with the bone folder at the second score line. And then we're going to add some tape along our rectangle edge. You can add your tape to your rectangle panel or your side panels. It really doesn't matter. I found it easier to add it to the rectangle panel. And when you add your panel that you scored, guys, keep it closed keep it folded when you add it. You can line up those edges beautifully that way. Now I'm going to take my bottom piece. We're going to score at the second score line, add tape to the bottom. We're going to add it to the top too while we're at it. For this envelope, we're going to create a top opening envelope. Now I have in my stash some mini slimline envelopes that I really like, but I was excited about this because they're so pretty. I don't have a real pretty envelope and this is really nice. Okay, this is good to go. You would want your flap on the inside, basically like this. We're going to create both envelopes, a regular opening envelope and then a top opening. So now we're going to need to add adhesive to that very bottom flap area. We're going to go ahead and add our top flap first. Now when you create for a top opening envelope, I suggest scoring at folding at the first score line, guys. This is going to make it about a 1/4 inch longer. It's going to look prettier when you close it up. I'm going to go ahead and attach this to the top. So this is a 1/4 inch taller than the bottom flap. Okay. Now we're going to add some adhesive to the bottom flap, kind of creating an upside down V. We're going to go to the left and to the right of the point on this decorative piece. We're going to remove the release paper here, but before we close it, we need to add some adhesive to the right side of our envelope flap here. Now on the right side, I'm just going to add my tape, creating again that V, it's a side V, not going in the scalloped area of the decorative detail on the panels. You don't want to stick your tape on the back side of your envelope. You won't be able to get anything in it. But I found the V areas work perfectly. But you just fold it over, fold your leftover first, right on top, and you have a beautiful top folding envelope. Isn't that so nice? I just love that, and so easy to create too. Now we're going to make a side folding envelope. Now I'm adding adhesive tape to the left and to the right on the longer sides of our rectangle. You always want to die cut out two side panels of each side, the smaller ones and the larger ones. Now for this side panel, I'm going to go ahead and reinforce it at the second score line. This is going to be our top open flap. We'll remove the release paper and add our top flap here. You can see it's easier to keep it closed when you adhere it, just lining up your edges. So that's our top flap. Now for our bottom flap, we want it a little bit longer, and so I'm going to score at the first score line. And this is all about preference tag, guys. You can create it. In fact, you could probably even create a slightly larger envelope if you actually, no, I take that back. Never mind, scratch that. Okay, we're going to attach our bottom portion of the envelope. Lovely. Now we're going to add our sides. We're going to, let's see, I think we can score at the second score line for the sides, for both of them. And the paper, I don't know if I mentioned this, but the paper that I'm using is about 65 pound cardstock, so it's a lightweight cardstock. I'm going to go ahead and add adhesive at the very bottom. We'll add it at the top while we're at it. Actually, these are the left and right sides. Just remove the release paper. We're going to add our right side here. And then we'll go ahead and remove the release paper and add our left side. Okay, and then basically our envelope is just about done. All we have to do is add adhesive to the left and right of our longer flap here. For this style envelope, you want to put it on the scalloped areas. You want to leave that decorative point piece in the center open. You fold in the left and right, and then pull up your bottom, and we have a beautiful A2 envelope with a fancy front. Love this. Now, if you have double-sided tape, go ahead and add some tape to your envelope. This way it's ready to go, and when you do add your card, all you have to do is remove that release paper, and it's ready to go, really. Go ahead and add some to this one too. So you have a top opening envelope that's a mini slimline, then you have a side one. I was excited about this. So you get so much in this kit. Now there's more that comes in this kit. You can see it fits it perfectly, and there's plenty of extra room. Now, you know I like to mention on my cards, so we're going to go ahead and see if our finished card today will fit in these envelopes. We'll put it to the test. So, 2 options for your envelope die. Now we're going to bring back our die set, and I have my scraps. This is how I store my cardstock scraps. These are actually the Color Essential scraps. I wanted some blue flowers, so that's what we're going to create using a trio of blues. The lightest blue is Glacier, second blue, middle blue is Raindrop, and then the darkest blue is Cosmic Sky. For our leaves, we're going to use 2 different shades. Our lightest color is Peridot, and then the mid-tone green here is Rainforest. Now we're going to take, these are the flowers in the die set this month, you're going to love too, because they're layering. I'm going to take the largest flower die. There's 3 flowers in the largest die. We're going to die cut that out with our Glacier cardstock, our mid-tone blue with our middle layer, and then our smallest layer is going to go with our Cosmic Sky, which is the darkest blue. I'm going to die cut out the leaf that's in here with Peridot, and then there is 3 different sizes of individual leaves. I'm going to die cut that out with my Rainforest. Now we're going to assemble our flowers, and assembling them is super easy to do. They're awful itty bitty, but they're so easy to put together. I didn't mind. It was actually kind of fun. I'm adding a dot of glue to the center of my white flowers. It's easier too if you have a jewel picker to add your smaller pieces. It just makes it quicker. So you can see how small the flowers are, but I added dots of glue, and then I want to take our mid-tone blue and just line it up. There are line-up points, like on the largest flower there's a straight edge. On the second layer there's a straight edge too. And then on this flower, the starburst, actually if you turn it until the starburst kind of line up, it makes it super easy. And then our third one, you really don't want to line it up because it's awful itty bitty, but you just place it on there. Now there's a third layer, so I'm going to add dots of glue on top of our mid-tone blue. And then we'll add our Cosmic Sky in the center. And then we'll add our teeny tiny dot that likes to flip around, and that's what I'm trying to do. I have a little piece of wax on my jewel picker. I had to pull that off so I could pick it up. This is going to go on our very smallest flower, and then we have our flower center for our middle flower. Now I added glue to my leaves. I'm going to pick up the flower and add it to the leaf. I think it's easier that way, and we'll do this to each flower. So each flower has its own leaf. I think that's fabulous. For today's card, I'm not going to use that leaf flourish that's in our triangle, but I am going to create a few more of these flowers because I love the way they look. I want to create a background of these flowers. So off camera I created 5 more sets and we are good to go. We have lots of blue forget-me-nots. No. Now I'm going to use my glue and basically cover the entire background of my panel. This is the dot and dash line panel. This is the middle one. You get 3 of these, and the largest one will fit your card front beautifully. But the second one is about a 1/2 inch smaller. And I'm not worried about the center of my panel. I just want to make sure that all my flowers will fit all around my panel. The center, we're going to put our sentiment, so it's going to be covered anyway. But I just think that looks so pretty, and that's included in the kit this month too, guys. Now there's a few leaves overhanging. I'm going to use my scissors and trim those off. And then we're going to finish up our happy birthday sentiment. Now I wanted to create a gradient for behind the happy birthday, so I'm just taking some white cardstock and some distress oxide ink. This is tumbled glass. It's a very pale blue. And then at first I was just going to use this color, but I think we need to darken it up a little bit. So I'm going to bring in Salty Ocean just to add a little bit of a darker color to the bottom. Clean up our craft desk. I'm going to go ahead and take the rectangle die that will cut out the background for our happy birthday sentiment. Line this up and then die cut this out, running it through our Platinum 6 here. So this is going to be our gradient for our happy birthday. We're going to flip over our happy birthday. If you want to use glue to adhere it, you could. I'm just going to use my tape runner. It's a little bit quicker. And then we line this up, and then our sentiment's good to go, which I think is fabulous because it's included also. I'm going to flip over our sentiment, add foam adhesive behind it. But before we add our sentiment, I'm going to go ahead and take our card front panel that we die cut out earlier and go ahead and add, we're going to keep it white. We're going to add this to our card base. And I thought maybe we should, if the dots, you could see a color behind it, but you kind of really can't. So we're just going to keep it white. But it is so pretty. So that's our card front. Next, we're going to go ahead and add adhesive behind our floral panel that we created. And of course, we're going to make a portrait or a landscape style card today. We're going to add that. And then we'll remove the release paper off of our happy birthday and put this right in the center. Lovely. And then we just need some bells and whistles. I'm going to grab some of my Color Essential gems. I think the crystal mix is out at the Spellbinder shop, so I'm going to use the gold mix. We're going to go ahead, and I was going to dot all of the flowers, but I thought it'd be too much. So I'm just taking one of the smallest of the gems and putting it in the largest flower. So we have 5 largest flowers. I'm just going to go ahead and dot the center of all of these. Actually, we have 6 largest flowers. So I die cut out 6 sets. I think I may have said 5. But I think that's just plenty of sparkle for our happy birthday card. Today created with the Spellbinders Mini Slimline Envelope and Nested Card Creator die set. So if you guys aren't a large Dive Them on the Club Kit subscriber, I hope this might change your mind. I encourage you guys to check it out. I thought we would decorate the inside of our envelope. I don't know if it would work or not, but I thought we'd give it a try. So I have some pattern paper. I have lots of pattern paper pads left over from the card kits. So this is actually from a mermaid pattern paper, Celebrate, I believe. And the paper is a very lightweight, thin paper, so it works perfect for lining envelopes, guys. I die cut that out with one of the long side dies, and then I'm marking it with the pencil, but you don't have to. I'm just trimming off from the very first scalloped edge, just removing that very first scallop. It's about a 1/4 inch off the left and right. And then I'm going to go ahead and add adhesive to the very bottom. Now if you want to do partial die cutting with this With this die, you could extend the length of the inside of your cardstock. Because you could see here, it doesn't go all the way down to the bottom. You have some white area, or you can just create two. I'm going to reinforce that score line, and on this card I had already added adhesive, so it's throwing me off a little bit. So what I'm going to do is pull up the adhesive in the middle, and then I'm going to add a little bit more behind my pattern paper, but I'm leaving the left and right where the adhesive is. This way I can close it. But you can see here the tape that I added is kind of throwing me off a little bit, but you just tape it down and you have a beautiful pattern on the inside. For my close-up pictures, I did take an extra strip of that pattern paper, so it's completely filled. I just think it looks a lot nicer. But I'm going to go ahead and continue my tape line so I can close my envelope, and then we're going to put it to the test. Will our card fit? Let's grab it and see. I think it's such a pretty envelope, and I was excited about this. And our envelope, or our card, slides in beautifully, and there's plenty of wiggle room in there, guys. Isn't that so nice? So you could do a top opening or a side opening envelope, and create a beautiful mini slimline card with this month's die set. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a fabulous day, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.